What's going on, y'all? Machiavelli Mills TV. Y'all, good morning, good morning, good morning. So, as we saw, or some of you all may have seen yesterday, ESPN First Take was at Shannon Sharp's alma mater, Savannah State University, which is a HBCU, a historically black college and university. Today, they are at Winston-Salem State University, which is Stephen A. Smith's alma mater, another HBCU, right? And while they are at these HBCUs, Shannon Sharp gave a breakdown of his top HBCU players of all time, his top 5. So I wanted to make a top 10 list, and I wanted to have several honorable mentions, right? Now, some of these guys are going to be higher than others based upon career achievements at the time that they came in, etc. The stuff that they did during the time that they played, like having a certain amount of yardage now as a receiver, and made like you got 7,000-8,000 yards, it doesn't seem like a big deal. But during certain times, it was, especially for HBCU players at certain times, right? But I want to start this list with is an honorable mention guy, but I feel like he really shouldn't be honorable mention when you think about it. He's one of the most underrated receivers of really the last 20 years. Jimmy Smith from the Jacksonville Jaguars. Jimmy was phenomenal. Okay? And I can pull up Jimmy's stats. Jimmy had about how many let me look. Yeah. Jimmy had, I want to say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 straight 1,000-yard receiving seasons. And had 9 1,000-yard receiving seasons in total. His last year in the NFL, he got 1,000. He finished the season with 1,023 yards receiving on 70 catches. That's his last season in 2005. Jimmy, I really feel like Jimmy's so underrated. Just remember this. Jimmy had 291 receiving yards and 3 touchdowns against the 2000 Baltimore Ravens defense. The 2000 Baltimore Ravens defense. Bro, they was not giving up touchdowns, bro. You were lucky to get 1. You got 2, goddamn, it was like somebody in soccer getting 3 goals. It was unheard of because that defense was so elite, headed by Ray Lewis. But Jimmy was a special receiver, and let me look at his accolades, man. 5-time Pro Bowler, 5-time Pro Bowler, 2-time Super Bowl champion, 2-time second team All-Pro, NFL receptions leader in 1999 and 99. Jimmy had 1,600 receiving yards with 116 catches. Phenomenal, right? Another all honorable mention is Willie Lanier, right? Got Willie Lanier. Where did Willie Lanier go to school at? Willie Lanier went to Morgan State, right? 8-time Pro Bowler. Willie Lanier was a middle linebacker. 8-time All-Pro. 6-time Pro Bowler. NFL Man of the Year, etc. Phenomenal at his position, right? Then you got Doug Williams, another honorable mention. Now, Doug, I'm looking at my computer. Doug really should be given a lot of kudos because he was one of the first black quarterbacks, to be taken serious. For people to look at him and say, okay, we letting maybe some of these black guys can play the quarterback position. Even though it came with its own scrutiny, he still was scrutinized and he still was judged. He was a guy that people were like, yo, we will give this dude a chance. I remember Skip Bayless talking about watching him at Grambling State when he was a reporter, a small-time reporter, going to Grambling and watching Doug Williams and being in awe, right? Doug was selected in the first round, the 17th overall pick. That's how special he was coming out of college, coming out of Grambling State. And then he was the first black quarterback to win the Super Bowl and was a Super Bowl MVP, if I'm not mistaken. Let me look. Yeah, he was Super Bowl MVP. So you got to give all respect to Doug Williams, right? Then another one of mine is Robert Brazile, right? Robert Brazile is from Jackson State University. Let me look at Robert Brazile's achievement. Linebacker from Jackson State. 7-time Pro Bowler, 4-time second team All-Pro, 2-time first team All-Pro, all with the Houston Oilers, right? First of all, 7-time Pro Bowler, 2-time first team All-Pro. He's a Football Hall of Famer in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. That should tell you, and that's enough to let you know he was a special dude. So you got to tip your hat to him. And what I have him? Robert Brazile, number 10. Number 9, I got Bob Hayes. Bob Hayes was a receiver. Okay. Played with the Dallas Cowboys, played with the San Francisco 49ers, Super Bowl champion. Was that with the 49ers, I believe? No, with the Dallas Cowboys. I'm sorry. And then he's two-time first-team All-Pro, three-time Pro Bowler, two-time NFL receiving touchdown leader, and he is from Florida A&M. Has 7,414 receiving yards, 371 receptions, 71 receiving touchdowns, and is a member of the Pro Football Hall of Fame. So again, getting 7,000 yards back then, especially when that was a run-heavy league at that point. HBCU kid, Florida A&M, having 71 touchdowns, that's special. There's a reason why he's in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. You can't poo-poo on that or none of that. Number 8, Deacon Jones. Deacon Jones he started at South Carolina State, finished at my alma mater, Mississippi Valley State University. I believe it was Mississippi Vocational College at the time he was there, but later became Mississippi Valley State University. Enough said about Deacon Jones. Deacon Jones is the reason why the word sack was coined. You know what I mean? Unofficially, I believe, let me look and see what Deacon. Unofficially, Deacon Jones is number 3 or 4 on the unofficial sack list. That's because the sack wasn't always a statistic. But unofficially, Deacon Jones number 3 or 4 on an all-time sack list. Put terror and put fear in the hearts of quarterbacks everywhere. You know what I mean? Deacon was the man, for real. So shout out to the Delta Devil. Also a South Carolina State mascot. I can't think of it. Is it Bulldogs? There's something else. Y'all correct me if I'm wrong. I believe I'm definitely wrong. So y'all can correct me on that. Then you got Steve McNair. Steve McNair finished 3rd in Heisman voting at Alcorn State. 3rd in Heisman voting at Alcorn State University. That should let you know what time it was. 3rd in all of what you call it. That is phenomenal. For real. Hold on, y'all. 1 second. So yeah, I believe I left off at Steve McNair. Had to find the charger for my laptop real quick. Steve McNair, man, Alcorn State was a terrific quarterback. Really could have went, when he was coming out of high school, could have went to the bigger name schools to play any other position. They didn't want to miss quarterback, but he said he wanted to play quarterback, so he went to Alcorn State. Now, y'all can correct me if I'm wrong, if they were going to let him play quarterback at the big schools like Mississippi State, etc. But from what I remember, he look, I want to play at Alcorn. Want to play quarterback, stayed at the HBCU, got drafted out of there. 03 season, he was NFL MVP, went to the Super Bowl. So Steve was phenomenal, man. A joy to watch. Him and Eddie George, fantastic football. I remember watching Steve McNair with my brother, my late brother, my brother deceased now, was watching him, with my brother. 6, I got Aeneas Williams out of Southern University. Now, Aeneas Williams, I'm going to read these stats to y'all. 8-time Pro Bowler, NFL receptions co-leader in 1994, two-time second-team All-Pro, and 3-time first-team All-Pro. 3-time first-team All-Pro mean you were official. He's a member of the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Finished his career with 55 interceptions, 55 picks, okay? 13 touchdowns, 795 tackles. Enough said. And he did that across playing with the Arizona Cardinals. And then he had, 3 or 4 seasons with the St. Louis Rams. So another HBCU kid coming up doing big things and showing the world they can play, that, they can play wherever. Number 5 is Michael Strahan. Y'all know about Big Mike Strahan. I know a lot of y'all see him on TV. He's doing his thing with the broadcast and the broadcasting round. But, man, Mike Strahan was phenomenal as a player. Well, Mike got 141 sacks, I believe. Yeah, I think that, and I remember that off the top of my head, 141 and a half or something like that. Super Bowl champion, NFL Defensive Player of the Year in 2001. 14 first team All-Pro, 4-time first team All-Pro, 2-time second team All-Pro, 7-time Pro Bowler, and Super Bowl champion with the New York Giants when they beat the New England Patriots, the team that everybody thought was going to go undefeated with Randy Moss and the great Tom Brady. Number 4, we got Shannon Sharp out of Savannah State University. Now, Shannon didn't put himself on the list, and he was being humble. Shannon really, I'm talking about, he really made that tight end position glorified. He revolutionized that position. As tight ends were never the first or second option receiving on a team at all. Shannon was that dude, okay? He could play like a receiver. He was a big money dude that can get you big first downs, big catches, and always extremely reliable, okay? Was moved, got wiggle, all of that. Everything that you would look for in certain tight ends like Travis Kelce or whatever, Shannon was doing that. So you got to give Shannon his props. 3-time Super Bowl winner, bro. 3-time with two different across two different teams. The Baltimore Ravens. Well, he repeated with the Denver Broncos and the Baltimore Ravens. Okay. Number 3, I got Mel Blount out of Southern University. Let's look at Mel Blount's stats. Mel Blount, quarterback, Pittsburgh Steelers, 57 interceptions, 2 touchdowns, 4-time Super Bowl champion, 4-time NFL Defensive Player of the Year, 2-time first team All-Pro, 4-time second team All-Pro, 5-time Pro Bowler. Then we're going to go to, none other than the great Walter Payton Sweetness that played for my Chicago Bears. We're going to look at Walter Payton's stats real quick. They speak for itself, though. Walter Payton, man, like, look, out of Jackson State University, NFL MVP 1977, Super Bowl champion, 9-time Pro Bowler, 16,000 yards receiving. What more do I have to say about that out of Jackson State? And number 1 is the guy from my alma mater, Jerry Rice, okay? Jerry Rice, the GOAT. You can argue Jerry Rice is the greatest football player to ever play with what? 22,000 yards receiving and 197 touchdowns. Enough said.